I've actually turned people down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting my own business and people have told me, accept everybody, take
Yeah.
everybody. But you know what? It's got to be somebody who's willing to change. I do believe people can do and will change, but they have to be able to have that mindset that they want to change. There's kind of a vogue mentality where people are saying, "Hey, I've got an executive coach. Hey, there's your executive coach." I don't want to be that guy. I
Mm-hmm.
want someone who is willing to change.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, and even $100,000 weeks. Before Purple Circle, I've grown several 7- and 8-figure career coaching businesses myself, and have been a consultant at 2 career coaching businesses that are doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Rexhen, and today's guest is Timothy K. Cormier, an executive coach, leadership consultant, keynote speaker, and founder of Cormier Executive Optimization, where he helps professionals transform their careers by thinking, acting, and behaving like true executives. With more than 25 years of experience in leadership development, change management, and organizational growth, Timothy equips leaders to step into their roles with clarity, confidence, and executive precision. Timothy blends his work with strategic planning, design thinking, and executive coaching to help clients achieve measurable career success and long-term organizational impact. And it's a pleasure for me to have him on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, Timothy.
Thank you so much, Rexhen. It's just awesome to be here.
Thank you for coming. I wanted to learn more about your coaching business. So in this podcast, as we were talking earlier, we focus a lot on the coaching side of it. So when it comes to Cormier Executive Optimization, it's something that you've started. It's been around for a year or so, right?
So yes, it's been around for a year or so, but I've been doing coaching and consulting internally for many years. And then I've been doing it on the side for several years, but I've officially went out on my own in January of 2025. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago, but you know what? It's all good. I'm doing it now and I'm just so happy.
Yeah, I've actually gotten the same kind of feedback from other coaches before. They wish they would have started it sooner. So pretty normal, I believe, is a very good industry to be in. So what inspired you to take this step, become a coach and start your own executive coaching business?
Absolutely. So I love people. First of all, I love working with people at all different levels of an organization. And I don't think leaders truly realize what impact and positive impact they make on people's lives, both professionally and personally. And it starts at the top of an organization that if you can work with an executive to set the right tone, the right culture, have the right environment where people are able to grow, learn, give feedback, it's amazing. And that's what really inspires me.
And when working with your clients right now, if we were to describe the ideal client profile, since we have these two audiences, we might be reaching out to the executives that actually fit. How would you describe it? Is there a certain industry, demographic, psychographic, some common goals or other commonalities?
To be quite honest, it's more about mindset. What is the mindset that you have? If you're a leader and you are in that position where you're saying, how do I work with the younger generation? How do I ensure that we are becoming more of a flat organization? How might we become more innovative? If you have these types of questions, that's more what I'm looking for. If you're looking at how do I leave a legacy, lasting legacy, it's more of a mindset, not necessarily an industry. Because I believe that's really transferable, that mindset, whether if you're in the heavy equipment, the telecom, the pharmaceutical, whatever it may be, it really is that mindset of a leader who is saying, I want to do things differently, having a merging approach and really embrace my employee base.
And so it's all about mindset. And how is it like to work with you? Is there a certain program of a certain length that the executives go through?
Thank you, Rexhen. What a great question. Yes, the ideal client to be collaborating with is about a 12 to 18 month process where we start with executive coaching, working with the executive team, and then doing leadership workshops to reinforce those messages. It starts with doing a needs assessment where you're doing a deep analysis of what are the knowledge, skills, abilities, the key performance indicators that we really want to grow in our leadership competencies. And then we focus on those. lean into them, measure them, and get the results.
And so, um, right now with your clients, with these executives, where, and this is a question that other coaches are going to find useful, where do you find them in terms of marketing? Is there a certain marketing channel is working really well for you?
That's an interesting conversation because it can happen anywhere. So for instance, it's about being open to having those discussions. So I've, of course, used lots of social media. I always put out a inspirational message almost on a daily basis. So all the main social media, I post those out, and I get people reposting my messages and reaching out to me. But it's also going out there, and whether you're in a social group, you're in a Starbucks, you're just out there randomly. I'm a huge hockey fan. I have one client who I met at a hockey game. And so it's really about being out there, listening to people and listening to what their challenges are, what are their opportunities, how they want to grow. And the best leaders I've found is when they don't wait until there's a problem. They're saying, you know what, I realize I want to get better at something, and they might already be crushing it, but they're saying, you know what, I can do it a little bit better, a little bit differently. And that's where you get those, if again, the mindset and proactive, and that can happen anywhere. So it's just being open to listening to what people have to say. And again, I just love people and talking to people, and I'm on plane rides all the time, and I'm in an airport, and I wear really bright clothes. And so people will come up to me randomly and say, who are you and what do you do? And so I'll just talk to them, hand them my business card. And yeah, it's just pretty amazing. I got one client actually just walking randomly on a river in the woods. We just happened to run into each other. It's just a bizarre thing.
Interesting. Is it all one-to-one coaching, or is there also group coaching in terms of like the program?
So, and to be quite honest, it really depends on the situation. There's nothing like this, Rexhen, this one-to-one where you're having this talking to each other, and there's that level of vulnerability, and you're able to express your concerns, your fears, showing that. If you're able to do that in a group setting, all the more power to them. So I've done, like in a group setting, I find if it gets too big, it's not really a coaching session, it's more of a workshop. But a coaching session, maybe 2 or 3. But if I find it's a little bit bigger than that, then that's more of a workshop setting.
It all makes sense, actually. And so where, and this is a question more about your business right now, where is it headed? So looking at like the next 1 to 3 years into the future, do you have any specific business goals that you're working towards?
Oh, absolutely. I want to have a whole team behind me. So there is, right now I have some one-offs and people who are there as 1099s. I want to have a whole team of executive coaches, leadership facilitators, and keynote speakers. I mean, that's the goal, that it's really about spreading that positivity, that uplifting message, and being able to inject that message into different organizations.
Interesting. I like that. So you think about scale here, and where do you see the challenge in doing that right now?
So I'm going to be the first one to admit this. I'm not for everybody. Some people might say to me, have empathy and vulnerability and compassion. I'm the CEO. I need results. What are you talking about, dude? I realize I'm not for everybody, but if somebody is willing to say, you know what I've been doing has gotten me pretty far. I've done really well, but I want to get to that next level, or I don't know if I'm getting that right engagement with my employees, or I don't know if I'm getting the right customer base, and I want to take it to that next level. That's where I come in.
So basically it's kind of like finding the right fit becomes a little bit of a challenge for you right now.
I've actually turned people down. I'm starting my own business, and people have told me, accept everybody, take everybody. But you know what? It's got to be somebody who's willing to change. I do believe people can do and will change, but they have to be able to have that mindset that they want to change. There's kind of a vogue mentality where people are saying, hey, I've got an executive coach. Hey, there's your executive coach. I don't want to be that guy. I want someone who is willing to change. By the way, it can be somebody who, I have no problem working with people who are traditional and could be, micromanagers and all of that. But they have to realize that they need to change. Comes with feedback, doing different surveys of their teams of what are their goals that they want, doing, things like emotional intelligence, strength finders, DISC, having all those different types of assessments where you're really looking at it, because the leaders may want to say, hey, I don't want to be a micromanager anymore. and then holding a mirror up to them and saying, you know what, you said you don't want to be a micromanager, but these are the behaviors that you're continuing to do. Help me understand what's going on there. And so a lot of times that's really tough, is having that conversation where you put the mirror right up to their face and saying, you're saying you want this, but these are the behaviors that you're doing. Can't be afraid to have those really difficult, intense conversations with the leaders.
Interesting. And I really like what you just said now, because it's helping me and the listeners to kind of like understand one of the transformations they could go through working with you. So when thinking about the right fit, you did mention like who they would not be or who they would be to be a perfect fit for you. So what type of transformation they typically go with through you? Now, one example was that of like from micromanaging to not micromanaging anymore. What could be some other areas?
Sure. It could be if you want to become more innovative. I don't know if you've ever heard of design thinking. It is life transforming, where you literally, step one is empathy, and you create for your end user. Too often I've been in boardrooms, I've been in conference rooms, meeting rooms, where we've created the perfect answer on a whiteboard, talking to zero customers. And it's about, you know what? It's not about what do we think and what are my hunch? What are our customers saying? Back it up with data, back it up with research, but go out there and talk to customers. Literally go out there and ask them questions, have empathy, and understand what they're going through. So I think that's one of the huge things right up front. Taking it to the next level is also talking to your employees, because you can only have a very happy, empowered customer base when you have a very happy, empowered employee base. And so being out there and talking to your employees and truly understanding, what do they want? What are their career aspirations? Do we have the right processes in place? Do we have the right org structure for our success? And that's what I say when I'm talking about having a deep analysis right up front. That's what it's all about, is making sure do we have all of these in the right place? For instance, this is where we are today. This is our org structure. This is where we want to go tomorrow. Do we have the right talent pool? Do we have the right org structure to have that? And are we doing a needs assessment for our employee base to make sure that we're going to be able to go from here to there? Again, that could be a customer base, a product base, could be a service, could be many different things.
Thank you. Thanks so much for clarifying. I feel like that's very helpful for everyone who's listening. What have been some investments you've done so far in your coaching business that you feel really good about? Either you learned a lot or got a good return from, and what have been some investments that you would have preferred to have avoided, if there's any of those?
All experiences are good experiences. You can learn something from it. Right now, I just got certified in a process for strategic coaching of executives from line of sight. And so the investments that you make are in yourself. In order for you to help others, you have to make sure that you're investing in yourself and you're staying cutting edge. You're staying knowing the right things to say and do with your clients. And so that's a huge thing right up front. Investing in marketing, that's huge. But again, it starts with you up front saying, I'm not going to ask leaders to do something that I'm not doing. I mean, I'm always reading different books. I'm always listening to different podcasts. I'm experiencing different feedback from different people that I'm constantly doing. You have to model that process right up front. And so if you look at an investment, it's got to be in yourself and your organization so that you're able to help others. You know what? Any investment, it's a learning experience. There's no such thing as a failure. The only failure is if you don't learn anything from it.
Absolutely. And I like the mentality behind it too. There's a lot of coaches that I've spoken to, and a lot of coaches that are potentially listening that want to scale their impact. And in a way, you're trying to do the same. You're also looking to grow your team, help more people out, make a bigger impact. What advice would you give to these coaches who are trying to scale their impact? What would be like an advice you give to yourself, essentially, at that point?
Go big or go home. Go big or go home. Believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing, and you can make a huge positive impact in so many different people's lives. Have fear. Go big or go home.
It's simple. Go big or go home. Thank you. Thank you so much, Timothy. And for anyone who is listening, wants to connect with Timothy, they can go into LinkedIn, Timothy Cormier. They'll be able to find your profile on LinkedIn, and they can reach out to you. Is there any other way that people could reach out to you?
Absolutely. So my website is, we can put that link in there too, but it's CEO-coaching-consulting.com. All the social medias.
And they will find you on YouTube at the same name, Timothy Cormier, right? Cool. yeah, just want to make sure when it comes to the website, we'll put that in the description as well. So thank you so much, Timothy. It was great to have you on the show.
It was great. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I wish you continued success and growth, and anything I can do to help as you're growing your business, please reach out. And anybody else, because you're listening, you have a free 45-minute coaching consulting with me.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This podcast was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, or even $100,000 weeks, all without burning out and making sure that you're making the impact and having the life that you want. To learn more about our community and how we can help you, visit joinpurplecircle.com.